Hello, my name is Ashley Moody, and I will be representing Team Creative Space. Today, for our final project for Business of Design, we present to you the Art Exchange. So let's get started. Just a little bit of background information. Team Creative Space was inspired through the idea and concepts of community engagement. We wanted to create a service that not only provided profits and stability economically in the community, but that promoted community engagement and allowed community members to interact with one another. In 2002, the No Child Left Behind Act was a law put in place for the public schools that focused on standardized testing in reading and math. In doing this, the law placed a higher learning demand on these particular subjects and reduced the efforts to support other programs like the arts. During the 2007 through 2009 recession, a lot of budget cuts were made to school funding, and art programs were at the top of the list to be cut. Although funding and jobs for these programs over the years have been restored, the amount of funding now is still lower than before. After budget cuts, by 2010, 40% of high schools no longer required that students take an arts course to graduate, according to the report from the U.S. Department of Education. According to the NEA, art programs in 1992 were receiving a total of $176 million per year for funding, compared to that of $146 million now. Today, 1 in 10 or 9% of teachers state that either art, music, or drama is no longer offered at their school. About 20% said that one or more of these subjects has been given reduced timetable space. In response to these issues, which still seem to be lacking many solutions, we suggest offering a helping aid and service to support those who are still trying to expand their creative minds. Art Exchange would address recent cuts in funding that has had a major impact on many art departments and schools. Our goal is to also extend this service to artists who can benefit from the accessibility and affordability of this solution. So in doing so, we decided to create a survey which helped with our market research. One of the many things we were interested in was how important was the arts to the community, and did the community feel that this service would be of beneficial to them as well. The results of our market research survey were very helpful. It was clear to see that many people believed our service could be useful in the community. They stated that students and artists would benefit from this service the most, and that art in the community was very important. Some even went to say that art added value to the community because it provided accessibility, affordability, and the ability to connect with people. From our market research, we were able to create a problem statement. We realized that the problem was single working females in their early to mid 20s who are either artists or are going to school need a way to access decent priced art materials in hopes of becoming more knowledgeable of the product they seek and a chance to network with other artists. Surprisingly, there are little to no local art retail businesses for artists to shop, so they have to use major retailers who market products to high points without the buyer knowing the true quality of the products. This market problem will be solved with our Affordable Art Exchange program. After addressing the issues in the problem statement, we then began to look at some of our top competitors. Some of our competitors include AC Moore Arts and Crafts, Hobby Lobby, Michaels, Jerry Autoramas, Joann's, and most recently, Resource Warehouse and Gallery. After addressing the problem statement, we wanted to take a look at some of the competitors to see what they were doing to address the issues. Some of the top competitors, major brands, include AC Moore, Joann, and Michaels. Some of the smaller competitors includes Hobby Lobby, Jerry Autoramas, and Resource Warehouse and Gallery. What we learned was that majority of the competitors use things like video lessons, online tutorials, and in-store workshops to bring in the customers. What they didn't mention was if the customers were using their own products to create these projects or if they were using the products created through the store. One source or competitor that was used as inspiration was Resource Warehouse and Gallery. They were outside of all of the other competitors by doing things like providing job skills, career experiences for women, and even throwing art parties. So we wanted to see how we could be different and stand out from the rest. After at the competitors, we then started with a competitor strategic analysis using the PESTO analysis system. On a political standpoint, we had to think about things like taxation and regulation trends. On an economical standpoint, we had to think about sponsorships and contributions, as well as unemployment rates and an effect a consumer could have on the confidence of our business. On a social standpoint, we had to think about things like cultural changes, people's lifestyles and views on arts, and the growth of arts in jobs and schools for art projects. On a technology level, we had to think of the rate of sociology changes. We had to think about how the business would operate and staying up to date on current art changes and supply demand of art materials. On an environmental standpoint, we had to think about things like green products and proper material disposal. Legally, we had to think about permits, regulations, health, and safety. Overall, the PESTEL analysis was good to understand how we could operate this service. Because it is a service and not a product, many things play a part on what we do as a business owner and how that affects our consumers or customers. Ideally, this service would probably be a nonprofit organization or be used for pro bono work since majority of the materials would be reused and recycled. Thinking about things like this and issues of funding is very important, which is what the PESTO analysis sparked in how we would conduct our business going forward. Next was the SWOT analysis. We really wanted to focus in this area more so on the opportunities and threats of the service. Opportunities were great in that we would be able to discover new ideas, partner with other businesses, and cater to the needs of the local community. However, threats were a major concern because of the way the store will operate. We would have to think about things such as theft, dishonest employees or customers, pricing competitiveness, and profitability. As mentioned before, this would probably be a nonprofit organization, so making sure that not only are we prospering, but also is the community prospering would be very beneficial to know what would pose a threat to our business. In our blue ocean strategy, we really wanted to find a way to stand out. And the only way to do that was to create a mission statement that will make sure we, as the business owners, as well as the customers, were on the same page for what our service was to provide. The idea was to encourage a workspace for creative minds to come together to discover new inspirations and find resources at affordable value. How we wanted to stand out was one, reducing the price of our materials by doing the recycle and reuse concept to eliminate the middleman and mass production. Also, to raise the accessibility, convenience, and art awareness within the communities. In order for us to do that, we would have to do things like artist workshops, the recycle reuse concept, providing networking opportunities, and this idea of a customizable selection that you usually wouldn't find amongst some of our competitors. One thing we did notice was our target audience would be students, teachers, homemakers, amateur artists, professional artists, or those in art-driven professions. The business model canvas was inspiring us to move forward from our mission statement. which we did, and our vision statement is an extension of what we want to achieve within this business. We believe that all people deserve an opportunity to express themselves in a knowledgeable and economical way, using art as a platform that creates job opportunities, networking experiences, and future connections. Some of our core values back that up by providing things of honesty, loyalty, affordability, accessibility, having fun, integrity, and this idea that people are a source of power. The business model canvas was an interesting way of seeing the do's and don'ts of our business. What was it that we wanted to bring forth as a business, and what did we want customers to receive? Our customer relationships was pretty strong and heavy in the way that we wanted it to be about the customer. So we would do things like provide customer profiles, give out loyalty points, and provide safe ways of paying for the material through exchange. Some of the channels we would use were social media networks, sending out emails, updating the company website, advertisement, mobile apps, and the idea of customer publicity. One thing a lot of businesses lack is the customer publicity because a lot of people aren't talking about the product or service being offered. We want the community to be engaged and to go out and inspire other communities to do the same or to encourage them to join our community and what we are trying to pursue, which in turn brings us to the key partners that we would like to have for our business model, which are artists in general, whether experienced or inexperienced, the community itself, and potential vendors, bringing everyone together as a community in itself. All of the research conducted so far boils down to our brand identity. The name of the service would be the Art Exchange, and we wanted the colors to really represent what we wanted to represent, which was the idea of recycle reuse. So the color green was something that we wanted to ensure was a part of the identity. Our identity would be the idea of welcoming everyone, no matter age, race, gender, religion. We want it to be resourceful, provide networking opportunities, and a community environment where everyone can engage. For the visual component of our brand identity, we wanted to play around with color, we wanted to play around with attributes, and we wanted to see what looked best and spoke out to us most. The first logo to the far left is very clean cut and straightforward, similar to some of the logos from our top competitors. The middle logo starts to play around a bit, more so with showing what we offer as a business. The third logo plays around with color, making it more vibrant and open to all communities and people of life while still trying to represent the art exchange feel. Overall, we decided to go with option one. This design is straightforward, concise, and clearly states what our brand is about: the art exchange, learn, create, and network. After receiving feedback from some of our classmates, they too believe that this design would be well represented and received from all people. The Art Exchange will provide learning opportunities by giving and hosting learning workshops for those interested in pursuing or further pursuing their interest in arts. This idea will help get new artists out to the community as well as possibly making profits that could contribute to the operation of the business. This idea of service is not only to save the cost of materials, but to be a facilitator of community engagement, also providing networking platforms that allows artists, businesses, and community to become one as a whole. The process of creating a business plan and starting from scratch has been a learning experience. We have learned the ups and downs, the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts of how to operate a business. The Art Exchange is a service that we hope to continue to work on in hopes of bringing it to the future society. We hope that you have learned something from us would potentially provide us feedback on how this service could be better, and we hope that you have enjoyed listening to our goals and achievements for this particular business of design project. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Team Creative Space.